All right, what's good YouTube? It's Shin, and today I'm coming to you from Circus Circus, where I'm heading to their buffet for some brunch. Now, I was here last year reviewing the dinner. Honestly, this place got some bad rap, but I thought it was pretty good. So I'm here to check out the brunch today. Really happy to have you along with me. Let's head on inside. All right, you guys, so here we are seated at the Circus Circus buffet for brunch, and this is a pretty classic Vegas style buffet. A no-frills dining room, not super modern here, very classic feel. Now my brunch clocked in at $30.99 today. That's actually up quite a bit from the last time I was here last year. Not even a year ago, maybe 10 months ago. So you may want to go ahead and phone in if you're planning to come here to check on the most up-to-date pricing and hours. Now that's enough info, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the buffet. Alrighty, you guys, let me go and give you a tour of the buffet here. Now at Brunch, their cook-to-order omelet station is available all day. So that's there for you. And then that will bring us to the buffet. Starting off at the breakfast, you've got your scrambled eggs here. And that's next to some corned beef hash. You got bacon and sausage in the back there. Got chicken fried steak, along with some biscuits in the back, as well as your country gravy. Very nice. A stack of tortilla shells here, taco shells for your tacos. And then I believe this is gonna be, yep, soft taco tortillas. Got your roasted jalapenos here. And then carnitas back there. Got your rice and beans. And then your seasoned beef here for tacos. As well as some potatoes in the back there. Got chimichangas here. And then some tortilla chips here. Very nice. That brings us to some taquitos, some rolled tacos over here. And then you've got your salsa rojo and your salsa verde. Got French toast. And that French toast is next to some pancakes and waffles. We've got some blueberry and strawberry compote here, as well as strawberry and grape jam. Got some taco toppings over here. Looks like lettuce, tomato, onions, cheese, sour cream, and some salsa. And we've got some sour cream here. Actually, that's cream cheese and some butter and some whipped cream. And that's next to some maple syrup. Then you've got your bread station. You've got your bagels here along with some white bread. Your toaster oven. Some more bagels over here, as well as some wheat bread. That's next to some additional syrup, which is also next to some additional butter. We've got more cheese, more salsa, and lemons over here, as well as some Parmesan cheese. Now that brings us to some more of these lunch style items. You've got spaghetti and meatballs. Got baked chicken over here. Looks pretty good. You got some baked fish. And then we've got some rice pilaf in the back, as well as some beef stew up front. And then we have a seafood stew here with clams and mussels. Yeah, looks very good. Roasted vegetables here. And it looks like some barbecue pork buns here. We've got what looks like to be some chow mein noodles. And that's next to some ramen noodles. And that's next to a peach cobbler here, you guys. Continuing the tour, we've got biscuits and gravy once again. And that's next to some more bacon and sausage. Looks like this sausage is the rounded variety. There are the links on the other side. We've got some potatoes O'Brien over here. And that's next to some grits. Hard-boiled eggs. And that rounds out the majority of the buffet. Now I'm gonna wrap you guys around back here where there is an ice cream machine, as well as milk and cereal. As you can see here, assorted cereals as well as milk. And then that brings you around to a different section of the buffet. Now this is where you're gonna have all of your beverages. It is self-serve, Pepsi products. You've got Dole fruit juices here, Lipton iced teas, as well as your coffee. And the same machines are repeated down there. And then let me show you guys this final section of the buffet. I believe these are soup, salads, and desserts. You've got your clam chowder here. Looks nice and thick. And then you've got your chicken noodle soup here. Actually looks pretty good. And then you've got your accompanying crackers. And that will bring us to the desserts. We've got brownies, cherry pie, and assorted muffins. Let me give you a better view up here. Got some cheesecake and what looks to be some kind of crumble-topped cake. Additional pies, danishes, as well as what looks like some pound cake back there. We've got some carrot cake, along with additional assorted muffins, what looks to be a chocolate white cake, and some additional muffins. That brings us to more of the, I guess this is more of a fruit bar. We've got some hard-boiled eggs, butter, lemon, and peaches. We've got granola. I believe those are pears. And then some pineapple, both plain and strawberry yogurt, as well as some fruit cocktail back there. And you've got your cottage cheese up front. Some cantaloupe and honeydew over here. And we have some grits and oatmeal over here, you guys. Got your grits here. And oatmeal here. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, you guys, so that is the buffet. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down and grab my first plate, and I will catch you in a little bit. Alright guys, so I'm back with my first plate, and with my first plate I went with a lot of breakfast items. Now if you've watched any of my other buffet videos, you know I love my eggs over medium, and so I got my eggs over medium from the omelet station today. I also went ahead and got the 3 big breakfast carbs, French toast, pancakes, and waffles. I also got bacon and sausage and a little bit of potatoes O'Brien. I'm pretty hungry for some breakfast. Let's go and give all this a try. All right, first up, a bite of the over medium eggs. Now at first glance, these do look a little bit overdone, but you can see the yolk running underneath, so I know it's runny. Let's give it a taste. They are definitely a little bit overdone, but great salt and butter flavor here. Next up, let's go ahead and try a bite of the bacon. Looks really crispy, which is what I like. Let's give it a bite. You know, it's decent bacon, fatty, salty, nice and crispy on my end. No real complaints on this one. All right, we'll go and try the breakfast sausage patty up next. Now, if I remember correctly, these were sitting in a pool of liquid, keeping them warm. Hopefully kept it juicy as well. Let's go and give it a bite. You know, it's actually very reminiscent of a McDonald's breakfast sausage flavor. It's actually seasoned very well. The texture is a little bit rubbery. I imagine that's because it's been sitting in that liquid for a minute. Now, flavor-wise, pretty decent. I don't really have any complaints on that one. All right, and next up, let's go and try the Potatoes O'Brien. It's much more meaty Potatoes O'Brien than I'm used to seeing. Usually, I'm just kind of used to seeing some bell peppers and onions. Let's give it a bite. Kind of a confusing flavor, I'm not gonna lie. Firstly, the texture, the potatoes are a bit mushy. I imagine that's just because they've been out on the line for a while. The seasoning here in the Potatoes O'Brien dish is actually very bold. A lot of smoky spice here. It's almost very reminiscent of like putting a chili on top of some potatoes. You know, it's not exactly the Potatoes O'Brien flavor I was expecting, but I'm really not offended by it at all. Now, if those potatoes had a little bit of additional texture and some chew to them, actually, I think this would be pretty good. All right, let's go and try the breakfast carbs, starting off with the waffle. Now, cutting into it, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't have a ton of crisp to it, so I'm not expecting great texture, but hopefully the flavor is good. There's actually a pretty decent vanilla flavor here. The maple syrup is also adding a nice amount of sweetness. The texture is definitely lacking. You know, overall, these are kind of run-of-the-mill waffles. They're not bad, but they're not great. All right, next up, let's go ahead and try the pancakes. Now, cutting into these, it did feel a little stiff. Let's go and see how it tastes. Oh, that might legitimately be one of the worst pancakes I've had in a very long time. Devoid of any flavor, it's actually as hard as cardboard. My jaws feel tired from that workout. These pancakes were not good at all. All right, and the last thing to try on my breakfast plate is gonna be the French toast. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this, it kind of looks like a standard piece of wheat toast. Not seeing a lot of eggs, cinnamon, or sugar. Let's go and give it a taste. I don't know if you can call this French toast. It's just toast with syrup. I don't really taste any cinnamon, sugar, or vanilla, but the texture suggests that they did dunk it in some kind of cream liquid. I guess if you were gonna choose between any of the 3 breakfast carbs, I would go with the waffle here. All right, guys, so that's the first plate. Unfortunately, a couple of misses, but overall, I wouldn't say too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and we'll go for plate number 2. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, you guys, I am back with plate number 2, and with plate number 2, I went with a bit of variety. Now, starting off, got some chicken fried steak along with some biscuits and gravy, also corned beef hash, as well as some baked chicken. I also got a serving of their baked fish along with a barbecue pork bun. Kind of went international on this plate. Let's go ahead and give it all a try. All right, first up, let's go and try a bite of the chicken fried steak. Now, it looks like a pretty standard chicken fried steak to me. Let's go and give it a try. You know, unfortunately, it's a little below average. I'll tell you, the flavor of the beef is actually pretty good. It's been well seasoned. It's actually pretty tender too. Now, unfortunately, the issue here is the fried skin on the outside. You know, it doesn't have all that great of a texture. It could really use a lot more crunch. It's almost rubbery, to be honest. That said, I'm not super offended by the flavor of the white gravy here. I would like to see some sausage or other savory fats in there, but it does have a nice amount of black pepper leading to some flavor. But overall, it's just okay. All right, if we tried the chicken fried steak, we gotta go and try the biscuits and gravy next. That's what's gonna happen. Now, I was afraid this biscuit was gonna be rock hard as I cut into it, but it's actually pretty soft. That gives me a lot of hope. Let's go and give it a try. You know, that was pretty good. The biscuit itself has a nice buttery flavor. It definitely has a soft interior. Not your typical flaky biscuit, it's a little more doughy, but the flavors are actually pretty decent here. And with that passable gravy, it's actually a pretty decent dish. All right, next up, the corned beef hash. Now, this kind of looks like a corned beef hash you would find from a can, but if I can be real with you, I actually like corned beef hash from a can. I think it tastes fine. Let's go and give this one a taste. 100% tastes like corned beef hash from a can. Now, unfortunately, it does kind of have that same mushy texture from that corned beef hash that comes from a can, but it has been cooked on a relatively hot surface. There is a crust to it. And if you're able to bite into one of those crust portions, it's actually pretty good. You know, I definitely grew up eating stuff like corned beef hash from a can, so, you know, this is actually pretty nostalgic for me. All right, and next up, let's go and try a bite of the baked chicken. I mean, honestly, you can see the spices on it, and it's got a great sheen. Hopefully this is good. Let's go and give it a try. You know, that was actually pretty good. The chicken is nice and juicy and moist. Seasoning is definitely on point here. It is simple, salt, pepper. I taste a little bit of garlic powder as well. I mean, this is a textbook baked chicken. I got really no complaints. All right, next up, let's go ahead and try the pork buns. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, picking this up, it feels pretty dry. But let's go ahead and give it a taste.
You got excited.
Ooh, that was bad. Unfortunately, the bun itself is rock hard. I'm talking about granite here, you guys. I thought I might have lost a tooth just now. Now, I will say the pork filling inside is actually pretty nice. It's got a nice sweet flavor to it. But unfortunately, there's just no saving this from that rock hard bun. It's really unfortunate. All right, last but certainly not least, let's go ahead and try a bite of the baked fish. Now, it's looking like a salmon to me, but it could be the lighting in here. Unfortunately, it does look a little dry in the center. But we won't know until we try. Let's go ahead and give it a bite. You know what, it's decent. It definitely is dry, but it's been seasoned relatively well. The salmon flavor is definitely a little mild, just a little dried out. Maybe if I got this right when it was fresh, it would have been so much better. All right, you guys, and not a bad plate number 2 at all. Now, really, it was only that pork bun that was offensive. Everything else, while it had some flaws, was passable and not bad. I'm gonna go and finish up this plate and we'll go for number 3 in a little bit. I'll catch you then. All right, you guys, I am back with my third plate, and with my third plate, I got a lot of Mexican items. I went ahead and made a carnitas taco along with a chimichanga, a rolled taco or taquito, and then I also made my own order of beef nachos. This is all looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, the first bite I want to try is of this carnitas taco. You know, the pork looks super juicy in the tray. I also got some rice and beans in here along with some lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes. Let's go ahead and give it all a taste. Yo, that's actually really good. The carnitas are fantastic. Pull apart tender, but still really, really fatty. Nice, deep, rich flavor here. Taco shell has a nice crunch. The beans and rice are actually adding a decent amount of flavor here as well. But honestly, carnitas 100% the star of the show. That's really good. All right, next up, let's go and try the taquito. I mean, this kind of feels like one of those deli mex taquitos that I can heat up from Costco. Let's just go and give it a taste. I know this flavor, you know this flavor. Have you ever gotten frozen taquitos from your local grocer? That's exactly what this tastes like. You do get a decent corn flavor from the tortilla, but it's very muddled. The beef filling inside has a decent amount of seasoning, but the texture is not present at all. But you know, I grew up eating stuff like this, and nostalgia still is the most powerful spice, and so I'm fine with it. All right, next up, let's go and try a bite of these nachos. I went ahead and put these together with some of that seasoned ground beef, cheese, tomatoes, and sour cream. I mean, the chip feels pretty good in my hands, doesn't feel stale. Let's go and give this a taste. You know, that was actually very good. The chips definitely have a great crunch to them, not stale at all. The seasoned beef has a great flavor as well. Nice deep chili taste, great seasoning here. And then the coolness of the sour cream helps to balance out the richness of that seasoned beef. Honestly, pretty good nachos. All right, last but not least, a chimichanga. Now, you guys, I was here roughly a year ago, and I think I remember getting the chimichanga for dinner, and I remember it not being that good. But a new day, a new dollar. Let's go ahead and give this a try and see if they've improved at all. You know, unfortunately, it's still not all that good. The real offender here is the tortilla shell. It really has no flavor at all, and it's really thick and doughy. Now, while the beef and bean filling actually does have a decent amount of flavor, this bland shell just kind of stays in your mouth and doesn't really let any of that flavor come through. It really is unfortunate because I love chimichangas when they're executed properly. All right, you guys, so that's plate number 3. Honestly, I really like the carnitas here, and those nachos are pretty good as well. The taquito pulls on some nostalgia strings, so I'm totally fine with that one. Unfortunately, the chimichanga was definitely lackluster. All right, guys, so I'm definitely starting to get pretty full. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and then it's time to activate the dessert stomach. I'll see you in a little bit when I return with some sweets. Alrighty, y'all, and I'm back with my dessert. I got a slice of their cheesecake along with what I believe is some kind of coffee crumble cake, and then a little muffin. Definitely ready for some sweets. Let's go ahead and give this a try. All right, you guys, first up, we're gonna go ahead and try the cheesecake. It looks like a pretty standard cheesecake to me. Nice little graham cracker crust here. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that's good. The cream cheese has been sufficiently sweetened. It's got a really great flavor. I love the graham cracker crust, perfect amounts of sugar and butter added to that. The consistency is a little chunky, not super smooth, but honestly it's rustic and it's very tasty. All right, next up, let's go ahead and try this mini muffin. It's got some kind of crumble topping on it. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and give it a try. That's pretty good. It's actually a banana muffin. You know, I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular. It's clearly a banana muffin, but nothing is super outstanding about it. The muffin itself is airy enough, but I wouldn't say that super soft texture that you're really looking for. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. Honestly, a decent banana muffin. Alrighty guys, and the last thing I'm gonna go ahead and try today is what looks like a coffee crumble cake. Actually, it's got something that looks more like chocolate chips at the bottom. I guess we'll find out what it is. Let's go ahead and give it a bite. You know, unfortunately, that's not all that good. You got two very conflicting flavors here. That super cinnamon sugar crumble on the top, and then a very bitter flavored milk chocolate at the bottom. And it's definitely a clash. They're not really playing all that well together. Yeah, definitely not my slice of cake. All right, you guys, and that does it for my review of the brunch here at the Circus Circus buffet. Now, despite the fact that this place gets a really bad rap, honestly, I didn't think it was all that bad. Here's the real issue though. At a price point of $30.99, I know you can get a better brunch buffet over at the Excalibur, so it definitely becomes a little harder to recommend coming to the Circus Circus buffet when the Excalibur exists. Now go and give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I would love for more people to see it. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of great stuff coming your way. And that's all for this one. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.